Hello listeners and viewers. Welcome to Kaduna State Ministry of Education Radio and TV e-learning program designed for our SS3 and other students staying at home due to the coronavirus pandemic. The present administration, under the able leadership of His Excellency, Malam Nasir Ahmed El-Rufai, is positioned as always to ensure that under his leadership, our students are not left behind in all areas of human endeavors, especially education. Kaduna State is the center of learning. Therefore, we want to ensure that our students excel in their forthcoming examinations and beyond. Students and other learners at home are given this opportunity in order to continue learning, as education is a continuous process. Different subjects will be taught in this program to assist students to perform excellently in the forthcoming Senior School Certificate examination being conducted by NECO and WAEC as soon as schools reopen. Teachers making presentations will always provide their names and phone numbers during each presentation, and they can be contacted for questions, further explanations, and/or clarifications. The following numbers and contacts can also be reached for expression of any concern or observation: 090-865-00545 or 080-383-62072. Our website is www.education.kdsg.gov.ng. Our email education@kdsg.gov.ng or education.kdsg@gmail.com. Our YouTube channel, Ministry of Education, Kaduna State. Our Twitter handle @Kaduna_MOE. Or our Facebook page, Ministry of Education, Kaduna State. Stay safe, stay at home, and learn well. Thank you, happy listening, and happy viewing.
Hello, my students. Welcome to another interesting session of the e-learning on radio, television, Kaduna. I am Mrs. Comfort Bakau, taking you on the subject Christian Religious Studies, CRS. Our topic for today is the family, and we are taking the Christian perspective of the family. Our texts, our references are Colossians chapter 3, verses 18 to 22, and then 1 Peter chapter 3, verses 1 to 7. These are our main texts for the discussion. We proceed by asking the question, what is the family? And we say the family consists of the father, the mother, and children. Family also could be a group of people related by blood, marriage, law, or custom. And then we are asking, what is marriage, or what does it mean to marry? We say it's to be joined to someone as a spouse. A spouse is a husband or a wife, according to law or custom. Before I continue, I want to just explain one thing or something. I know that there are different perspectives about the family, and that is why you see our topic, I say it is the Christian perspective. There are different types of families. We have the nuclear family, consisting of the father, mother, which we and the children, which we are going to look at. But there are other types of families also. We have the extended family, consisting of the father, mother, children, and other relations. It could be the grandparents, it could be cousins and nephews living in the same house. We also have the single parent family, or the single family, where you have either the father or the mother, either with the children only. And then there are others also. But I said for our topic, or for our purpose, we are looking at the family being the father, mother, and children. And we say the family is the smallest unit of the larger society. You have the larger society, different families now come up to make the wider society and the nation. Okay, having said that, we want to look at the origin of the family. And we go right back to Genesis, the beginning. It is important for us, if we are going to understand the family, to know how it originated. And we find the reference in Genesis chapter 2, verse 18, where God said, "It is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him a helper fit for him." Here we see God speaking. It was God himself who said, "It's not good for the man to be alone." You see, God, we had talked about the creation story. Our teacher, when she talked, she told us how man was formed and all of that. God now asked man to name the animals that he had created, and he brought the animals. Adam named them, each of them, giving them names. But after naming all of these animals, Adam sat down, and it's like there was no one that was his own species, someone that was his own type. Yes. So God saw that he was lonely, so to say. And God said, "It is not good that the man should be alone. I will make for him a helper suitable for him." And so God now made the man to sleep, to fall into a deep sleep. And out of his ribs he took one and formed the woman. When God now brought the woman to Adam, Adam said, what did Adam say? "This at last is bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman." Adam was so excited. It's like, wow, this is now, at least I have gotten someone of my own type. She shall be called woman. So we are saying, by marriage, therefore, the man and the woman become one. Children, they come in later in the family. So my students, I say, I want us to know where the family originated. And we are saying it originated from God. God is the originator, the founder of the family unit. So having that at the back of our hearts, let's continue. Those of you that are watching on the television, you will see, I have here the picture of a family. The family here consisting of the father, mother, you see them in white, and then the children, all surrounding the parents at the background. So this basically, based on a Christian definition, I've said to us, father, mother, and children. That is the family. Okay. So we go on. What should be, therefore, the ideal family relationship, the Christian relationship that we find in families? So we take Paul's teaching. Paul has something to say about the ideal relationship that should exist in families. We find that in Colossians chapter 3, verses 18 to 22. And I will read the text. I will read it out. Here Paul says, "Wives, be subject to your husbands as fitting in the Lord. Husbands, love your wives and do not be harsh to them. Children, obey your parents in everything, for this pleases the Lord. Then fathers, do not provoke your children, lest they become discouraged. And then slaves, obey in everything those who are your earthly masters, not with eye service as men pleasers, but in singleness of heart." Colossians chapter 3, verse 18 to 22. Okay, so from Paul's teaching, from the verses we've read, you will see that Paul spells out the duties, the roles or responsibilities of each family member. And we're going to take them one by one. We have the duties of each family member. We start with the husband or the father. Number one, the husband, he's supposed to be the head of the family. By being the head of the family, we mean that he should be the provider, the protector, the lawgiver in the home. Provider here, I mean he should be able to provide the basic necessities of life for the family. Food, shelter, clothing, And I said basic things that the family needs, or all the needs of the family, as the head of the family. He's also to be the protector. He is the protector of the family against all forms of dangers, in whichever form the dangers will come. The head of the family, the husband, is supposed to protect the family, be it against thieves, against rain, sunshine. That is why we say he should provide shelter and other things to protect the family. And I also have here lawgiver. He's supposed to be the lawgiver in the family. He gives the do's and don'ts to the family members. These are the things, these are the rules and regulations in this home, in this family. And every member abide by it. And these laws that the father or the husband is giving, they should not be contrary to what the Bible is teaching us. Okay, the husband is to love his wife. The husband loving his wife here, the Bible expects that he cares for her, show her real, true affection and care, protecting her, as we've said, providing for her all that she needs and all that is expected of him. He's not to be harsh to his wife. The husband is not to be harsh to his wife. Yes, if you love someone, I'm sure you'll not be shouting and calling the person names. So we are saying, the Bible is saying the husband should not be harsh to the wife. And the husband also, or the father of the house, should not provoke his children, or the children may become discouraged and feel unloved. So father, don't provoke your children, or the children will now fear you. They will not be free with you, and they will sometimes become easily discouraged. When they feel you don't love them, they may withdraw to themselves. You won't know anything about them. They won't say anything to you because they are not free with you. Okay, the wife. What are the duties? What are the roles of the wife? The wife is that she is the helpmeet of the family, or the husband. Helpmeet. What does it mean? Someone that is suitable. She has come to help the husband. We've said when God created man, he gave him responsibility, divine responsibility to fulfill. And you remember when he gave the animals names, the wife was not there. And I say that God looked at him and he was feeling lonely. And he needed someone that can come and help him now in the tasks or in the duties that God has given him. So the wife is supposed to be the helpmeet to the husband. She should be submissive to her husband. The wife is to be submissive to her husband, or to submit to her husband in everything. Whether the husband loves her or not love her, does not love her, she is supposed to submit. What does it mean to submit? To submit is to now yield. The husband may bring some points, some views that she may not like. But so long as we say it's not against the word of God, she's supposed to now submit to him in this aspect of discussion, and then they move together. Number 3, the wife or the mother of the house should show good example to the children. In the house. She should be a mother that by her submission to the husband, or by her submitting to the husband, the children are watching. You know, students and all of us watching, whatever we do, you don't know, these children, they are watching. It's like they are videotaping everything we do. So whether we say it out, whether we don't say it out, the children are watching us. So the wives, by your conduct, by the way you respect or you submit to your husband, the children will now see how you are behaving towards him, because they are learning they too with time, they will now set up their own home. And how you show, the example you show to them, they may carry it to their own home. Okay, the children. What are the roles and the responsibilities of the children? The children's role is very simple. They should obey their parents in everything. Children, yes, your duty as a member of the family is to obey your parents in everything. In fact, so long as that thing does not go against the word of God, whenever your parents now ask you to do that thing, your own is to obey without questioning or without finding any fault. Number two, the children should honor their father and mother, for this is the first commandment with a promise. When you read Ephesians chapter 6, it says, the promise is that it will be well with you and you will also live long in the land. Yes, long life is promised you if you honor your father and your mother. But we are saying, first of all, you are doing everything as unto the Lord. You are obeying your father, you are obeying your mother, doing it as unto God. Whether your father is harsh to you, whether your mother is not showing good example, your own is to obey them and honor them. And then we have the roles and responsibilities of the slave or servant. You see, my students, in the time of Paul, people had slaves. It was not wrong, it was accepted. But we've written servants, it could put there, since we don't have slaves, there could be house helps, there could be some people, people working in your house helping. We say these people, they should be very obedient to their masters, showing genuine commitment. It should not be what? Eye service. You do your work as a house help in the house or as a house servant as unto God, not unto your master. Because some people, when they see the master, the wife of the house or the husband of the house, they'll be doing their work with all seriousness. But once the master or the wife of the house is not around, they drop what they are doing and they start to behave some other way. So Paul is admonishing everyone to now do your work as unto God, not unto man. Okay, so from Paul's teaching, an ideal family is one. It's one where the husband and wife acknowledge that God is the head of their family and has brought them together to fulfill divine purpose. Yes. Husband and wife should acknowledge the fact that they were not brought together by accident, but that God brought them together to fulfill purpose, divine purpose. And an ideal family also is where each member performs his duty or her duties as unto God, not unto man. Yes, we have made the point. Whatever you are going to do as a member of the family, do it as unto God, not unto man. And also we have, it is where the husband and wife know that they are partners with God to help the children develop their God-given potentials and become useful to God and humanity as a whole. Yes. Husband and wife, you should know that you are brought together, partnering together with God to help the children that God has given you. Because these children, they have potentials in them, but they need someone to help them develop it. Therefore, you as a father, you as a mother, you should now see it as your duty to help these children. And that is why the Bible admonishes us, Paul said we shouldn't be harsh to these children. We should show them genuine love so that they don't get discouraged. And then their potentials will be developed and they become useful, we say, as we see. Okay, we have Peter's teaching on wives and husbands' relationship. And we find that in 1 Peter chapter 3, verses 1 to 7. You will see that Peter's teaching is very, very similar to that of Paul. For the wives, the same admonition, the same encouragement or advice. He says, wives should be submissive to their husbands. We have said whether your husband loves you or doesn't love you, your own is to submit as unto the Lord. Then it says, the good behavior of the Christian wife can win her unbelieving husband to the Lord. That is Peter's teaching we are looking at. Yes, we said, he also went ahead to say that the wives, you should not pay too much attention on what? On outward appearance, such as braiding, plaiting of the hair, decoration with gold, and wearing of expensive clothes. Peter is not saying here that wives should not dress fine. He's not saying they should not look good, but he's comparing, and he's saying don't take too much time taking care of your outward appearance. All the decorations, all the things, they are okay, but when you give them more attention than the inner one. So he now went to say, wives should rather pay more attention to the hidden person of the heart with the imperishable joy of a gentle and a quiet spirit, which in God's sight is very precious. He said the holy women of old had this spirit. And he gave us the example of Sarah, who obeyed our father Abraham, and she called him my Lord. I want to say more on this, my students. We are saying Peter is not preaching against looking good, no. But he's comparing two things. Give more time to building your relationship, the inner person, building your relationship with your God, with your Creator. The inner beauty can also reflect out. Don't spend too much. You are always thinking of what to wear, the latest fashion, the latest this and that, and you forget about your relationship with God. That is what Peter is against. Okay, so he has something too. Peter has something to say to the husbands. He said the husband should treat the wife tenderly, recognizing her as the weaker sex. He said also that the husband should treat the wife with respect and honor, since both of them are joint heirs of the grace of life, so that their prayers may not be hindered. So you see, Paul and Peter, we are saying the teachings about the relationship between the family, husband and wife, almost the same. Wives, submit to your husbands. Husbands, love your wives, take care of them, be gentle with them, and all. Then we have to now bring in a point here which is very, very important. The church as a family. You see that in Ephesians chapter 5, verses 23 to 30. The church here is compared as a family where Jesus Christ is the head, where Jesus is the husband, and members are the wife. You will see that Jesus loves his church, and he gave his life for her. That is, gave his life for the church. That is the believers, the members of his church. We say the church should be subject to Christ as the head and be obedient to him for her growth and for her well-being. Yes, the topic of the church as a family, we'll discuss it maybe at some later time at a deeper level. But you will see, my students, the point we want to make is that whatever God does, he usually gives us the spiritual aspect of it. So the family, you see that it has a spiritual aspect, the church and Jesus Christ. So we move on. But we see that the families today, they've deviated from the teachings, these biblical teachings that we've been looking at. And there are many consequences that have come as a result of that. Number one, how have families deviated? You will see that husband and wife come into the marriage relationship with their own and not God's idea of marriage. They come in with, what can I get from this marriage? The girl will come in, she's about to marry, what can I get from the husband, from this marriage? The husband, what can I get from this girl? So they're not thinking of God. They're not thinking of God's purpose for their marriage. They are thinking of what they can get, their own enjoyment and their own benefit. And that should not be the case. And then we say the husbands today, we see them, they do not love their wives as they should, as the Bible admonishes. The husbands do not perform their duties. We've listed out the duties of the husband, the provider of the house, provider of everything that the house needs, the basic necessities. We see husbands failing in that. And so things are not right. And then we have the wives too, wives today, we don't see them submitting to their husbands. They feel maybe they've attained some degrees, some economic power. They say, how can I submit to this man? That should not, no matter how high you go in life, you are supposed to submit to your husband, no matter the level he is in. Okay, wives do not perform their duties. How can I cook for him? He doesn't love me. How can I cook for him? The children today we see they do not obey their parents. And what are the results of all this deviation from the biblical teachings that we have looked at? We see today there is separation in the families. We see divorce, husband and wife totally leaving each other and staying apart. And where does that leave the children? Problems. So we see there's also lack of love and unity in the homes. We see lack of proper upbringing of children. And children are disobedient and wayward because of how families have deviated from the biblical teachings. So, my students, we finished lesson. There are lessons to learn. So many lessons. We just take some few. You will think of the others yourself. Number one, we say God is the originator of the family in the Garden of Eden. Husband and wife, number two, are brought together to fulfill divine purpose. Number three, each member of the family has a role to play for the success of the family, the church, and the nation at large. Number four, the failure of one or more members of the family to perform their roles will bring about the failure of the family, the church, and the nation at large. Number five, we say the purity of the inner self is better than the outward appearance. Therefore, more attention should be given to your inner life, that is your relationship with your God. Before I go, my students, I have this assignment for you. Number one assignment, 1A. What is a family? Number 1B. What are the roles and responsibilities of the following members of the family? 1, the husband. 2, the wife. And 3, the children. Number 2A, question 2A, state the main features of Peter's advice to wives and husbands in their relationship. 2B, list any 3 consequences of instability in the family. References that you can look at to do your assignment. We have the Holy Bible, as usual. It remains our number 1 reference book. Number 2, Comprehensive Christian Religious Knowledge for Senior Secondary Schools by Martins I. Amechi. Number 3, Round Up Christian Religious Knowledge by Adeyinka and Co. And then we have number 4, Essential Christian Religious Knowledge for Senior Secondary Schools by Edmond U. Okoli. I remain your CRS teacher, Mrs. Comfort K. Bakau. My reference number or my contact number is 080-2266-7567. I take it again, 080-2266-767. Stay at home, stay safe, keep learning until we meet in the next lesson. Remain blessed.